Philippine Politics and Governance, Lesson 7, The Legislative. Aaron Stories.
Like, subscribe, click the notification bell.
Legislative branch of the government. The legislative branch of the government make laws, alter, and repeal them through the power vested in the Philippine Congress. The legislative branch enacts legislation, confirms or rejects presidential appointments, and has the authority to declare war. The legislative have the power of the purse. It enacts laws that impose taxes, determine how public funds will be spent through the government budget. The legislative power. The competence of the legislative body to propose, enact, ordain, alter, modify, or repeal laws. Hence, it is synonymous to law-making power. Since the legislative is a law-making body, now let us define law. Sanchez-Roman defines law as a rule of conduct, just, obligatory, promulgated by the competent authority for the common good of a people or nation, which constitutes an obligatory rule of conduct for all its members. For the national government, the legislative is the Senate and the House of Representatives. For the local government, we have the Sangguniang Panlalawigan, Regional Legislative Assembly, Sangguniang Panlungsod, Sangguniang Bayan, and Sangguniang Barangay. The Philippine Legislative is a bicameral legislature, meaning we are divided into an upper house and the lower house. For the upper house, we have the Senate. The Senate shall be composed of 24 senators who shall be elected at large by the qualified voters of the Philippines, as may be provided by law. Senators are elected to a term of 6 years. They can be re-elected but may not run for the third consecutive term. For the lower house or the House of Representatives, it is composed of not more than 250 members unless otherwise fixed by law. The districts and sectoral representatives elected are appointed in accordance with the number of their respective inhabitants and on the basis of a uniform and progressive ratio. The districts and sectoral representatives are elected for a term of 3 years. They can be re-elected but they may not run for a fourth consecutive term. The party list representatives are also part of the House of Representatives or the lower house. Its aim is to assure that the various sectors of the Philippine society, particularly the disadvantaged group or representation in the highest lawmaking body of the Republic. It refers to an organized group of citizens advocating an ideology or platform, principles and policies for the general conduct of government. Two types of legislation, national, exercisable by the Congress and the people through initiative or referendum. This is from Republic Act 6735. And the second one we have local, exercisable by Sangguniang Panlalawigan, Sangguniang Panlungsod, or Sangguniang Bayan. This is from the Local Government Code in the Article 10 of the Constitution. Since initiative and referendum are part of the national legislation that has defined them. For initiatives, these are citizens directly propose laws or amendments to the Constitution. So kapag may gustong baguhin parte, hindi lahat parte lang ng Constitution, magkakaroon ng initiative. Nagkaroon na ito before we have the People's Initiative kung saan nag-change ng part of the Constitution. The referendum naman is that citizens vote for or against a proposal of law, also approval of certain local laws or laws passed by the Congress. The powers and functions of the Congress. The first one, we have the checks on the powers of the presidents. It checks the president's power to appropriate funds for the government use. It also provides consents on appointments made by the President. It requests heads of the executive departments to appear before the Congress for inquiries and declaration of martial law. It also checks the President's power as the Commander-in-Chief in the suspension of the writ of habeas corpus or the declaration of martial law, and concur with the President in granting amnesty to individuals. Second power exercises functions known as diplomatic power for international relations. This is the declaration of the existence of a state of war, granting of emergency powers to the President in times of war or emergency. No treaty or international agreement shall be valid and effective unless concurred in by at least 2/3 of the members of the Senate. The roles of the Philippine Congress. It initiates investigations into matters of public concern. Call on the government officers and citizens to appear before the legislative committees if needed. Approval of appropriation of the national budget. General Appropriation Act for specific fiscal year. National Board of Canvassers during the presidential and vice presidential elections, Commission on Appointments, and initiation of impeachment cases starts within the House of Representatives. This is the legislative process. It starts with the overview of the legislative process, then introduction and referral of bills. Then there will be a committee considerations, then calendar and scheduling. Then House floor hearing, Senate floor hearing, then executive business in the Senate, then bicameral solutions, and then presidential actions, and then it will become the public law. Remember, each bill needs the consent of both houses to be submitted to the President for his signature. If the President vetoes the bill, Congress can override the veto with a 2/3 supermajority. Constitution provides Congress with impeachment powers, with the House of Representatives having the power to impeach and the Senate having the power to try the impeached official. That is Lesson 7, the Legislative for Philippine Politics and Governance. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and also hit the notification bell for updates. And I'll see you again on my next video. Thanks for watching. Take care.